Due to maintenance work on our Auckland aerial, Pacifica Health Talanoa, proudly brought to you by Pacific Heartbeat at the Heart Foundation.
Wow, it's warm and it's really muggy Pacific greetings this week, isn't it, Alex?
Oh, yes.
Here we are again on our Tuesday afternoon Pacifica Health Talanoa, where we chat about all things to do with food. Hopefully it's of interest to Pacific families out there. I'm Palangi Sue, and once again I've got lovely Alex Nicholas, who's part of our new team member at our Pacific Heartbeat team. And today we're going to talk all about, we mentioned last week, Alex, that we thought we'd talk about sugary drinks because all the kids are going back to school. So do listen in, everybody, because Namaya's got a curly question at the end of the session, and you could win a $50 Pack and Save voucher, which always comes in handy. So, Alex, thank you for being here again today.
Thank you for having me.
And why should, Pacific families even be thinking or even worrying about those lovely, yummy, cool, fizzy, sugary drinks? Why should we even care about it?
I think the key thing is sugar. Sugar. It's the added sugar that we need to be mindful of in these drinks. We know water is best, but these sugary drinks are out there very cheap and affordable. Mm-hmm. So definitely
in terms of our
in terms of our health, it's one of the leading or main contributors to health problems that our Pacific Islanders are faced with these days, and things like diabetes. Especially in terms of our teeth, tooth decay, very, very common. And
I know you've got a picture here of we're holding up a picture of a child's mouth, and this is a New Zealand child, isn't it, Alex?
Yes, it is.
And this poor child had to have all their teeth pulled out because of the sugar from the sugary drinks.
So definitely can see the impact, just in terms of oral health. Mm-hmm. So it is one of the main contributors to that, and another leading, contributor to obesity in our, our Pacific Island, especially our Pacific Island culture and community. So.
Because it's very easy to drink here. I've got a bottle of Fanta here. It's very easy to drink that down, the whole thing, isn't it? And then if we're not burning off the energy or the calories in it, it just goes on the muffin top, doesn't it? Sadly.
And the other key thing is no nutrients in it whatsoever.
So no nutrition in it.
No nutrition.
Just goes on the muffin top.
Extra energy that if we're not burning off, like you said, it's going to accumulate on our bodies.
On our bodies.
So it is definitely a nice to have, but something that we should be cutting out if we can.
They're quite addictive as well, aren't they?
Very addictive sugar, yes. Now, Sue, Palangi Sue, I wanted to just brief on the World Health Organization. I thought it'd be cool to tell our community just about the recommendations that the World Health Organization have according to what we should be having with how much sugar we should be having a day, and that's added sugar.
Those are those extra sugars. It's not like the sugar in your orange or your apple that's already inside the food. But yes, the World Health Organization has some recommendations, and they're good ones to follow, I think. And one of them is for children for the whole day. And I'm holding up a little bag of sugar here, and it's got 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. So for the whole day, that's what a child should be having of those added sugars. So that's our fizzy drinks, our giant cookies, our sweets,
so
our biscuits, our ice cream, all those added sugar. It's only 3 teaspoons, so not much. For the ladies, I'm holding up a bag of 6 teaspoons of sugar. So it's a little bit more, but still not very much. And for the blokes, they get a bit more because they're a bit bigger than us. So 9 teaspoons for the whole day for both food and drink. So it's actually not very much.
Not very much. It's amazing. And I mean, so you have in front of you, we have in front of us this Fanta bottle.
Yes.
And this is very common, I know, growing up, I used to love Fanta and
Same.
love to guzzle it down when I was thirsty. But I think it'd be good to see how much sugar is actually in there, and maybe we can work that out ourselves.
So you'd like to know how much sugar is in. I've got a 600ml bottle of Fanta here. You want to know how many teaspoons of sugar is in there?
Yes, let's give it a go.
Okay, so I drafted up this little nutrition panel. I remember back last year we did all about reading food labels when we were shopping at the supermarket for our families, and this is the box. This is like a giant box, and that's the label that's on every product. I'm pointing out here, Alex is pointing out the Fanta box where you've got all the nutrition information on it.
Yeah.
And when we were doing the food label reading, we always looked at the per 100 grams when we were shopping at the supermarket for our families, because we were going to compare the products and to see which product has got the least amount of sugar and fat and salt for our families. So that was when we were shopping at the supermarket. If we're going to work out how many teaspoons of sugar is in a whole bottle of Fanta or in a whole giant cookie, say we were going to eat, we're going to eat or drink the whole thing, we're going to look at the per serving column, which is right beside that per 100 gram one. We'll look at the per serve. So we're going to look at the sugar, and over here I've got sugar on the label. I come across and I can see that there's 25 grams of sugar in one serving of our Fanta. But if you look up the top of that label, it tells you how many servings they say is in that bottle of Fanta, and it's got 3 there. And so one serving has 25 grams in it, but are we only going to drink a third of that?
Probably
No,
not.
We're going to drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we need to multiply it by 3,
Nice.
which is always at the top of the label. So I'll quickly do that calculation. So I've got 25 grams times 3 equals, Alex, how's your math?
Equals to 75, if I'm correct.
75 grams. So here we've got the calculation.
Awesome.
The 25 and 1 serve times the 3 for the whole bottle equals 75. But I find that families and people don't really have a grasp
what is
of
75 grams?
What's that? So we're going to work it out in teaspoons.
Great.
And so to do that, you just divide your 75 by 5. So we better try our 5 times table or our division. So what's 75 divided by 5?
So that equals to 15 teaspoons of sugar.
So in that one whole bottle of Fanta,
15 teaspoons.
15 teaspoons of sugar.
That's a lot of sugar. And Sue, when we go back to our World Health Organization recommendations, if I was to drink this whole thing, that's almost more than double.
You've had more than the men.
Yep.
Double the ladies.
Plus,
and the kids that are drinking this. 15 teaspoons. It's just way too much. Damaging the teeth. And putting on the muffin top.
So it gives you a really clear, I guess, understanding of how much is in each sugary
and you
drink
can
that
do
we're
this
getting.
for a giant cookie or any of your drinks. You just look at the sugar, what's in one serve, look up the top, multiply it by the 3 or whatever it is, get your grams, and then divide your grams by 5 to get your teaspoons.
Nice.
Awesome. And Alex, we've got a few here to show, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
Because we've already worked out done our maths.
Yes.
So what have you got?
So just to start off with, I've got Coke here. So
a can of Coke?
That's a 355ml can of Coke, so not very, very large. And in this can of Coke, we've worked it out that there are 8 teaspoons of sugar in this one can.
And you've got a bag of 8 teaspoons.
So that shows about, how much sugar is in that can. Yeah, so that's, again, exceeds the amount that I should be having, and my daughter Shiloh that's at home, if she was to have one of these, should be exceeding that amount. I've also got,
what about your you've got a can of Coke, but you've got a great big bottle of Stars there,
I
haven't
do.
you?
Okay, so this is another very common fizzy drink that's sold in the dairies, and very cheap as well, but alarmingly this has 32 teaspoons of sugar in it. So.
And you've got a big fat bag of sugar there that's bursting at the seams.
So lots and lots and lots of sugar in there. And again, you know, it's just there's no nutrients in it whatsoever. It says it's orange flavor, but yeah, tastes good, but just is not good for us.
Alex, that we've got a big bottle of Coke here, one of those big ones, 1.5 litre. It has also got 32 teaspoons of sugar.
So same thing. And you know, a lot of us can have a whole Coke in one day, so it does give you a very good idea of how much is in there. Red Bull is another common,
popular, isn't it?
common drink that you know. Well, I quite like having a Red Bull now and then, but it has 6 teaspoons of sugar in it,
and that's a small can, isn't it?
Very small can.
Yeah.
So
and what about your big Monster?
Yes, another very common one that we find in lots of dairies as well, and alarmingly, again, that's 12 teaspoons of sugar.
So in that big can of Monster energy drinks.
12 teaspoons,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, because that's even over the men's recommendation without having any food at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of sugar. Now,
and I've got a few here. I've got one that are families, very popular for families. I've got Raro. And it's got
very popular.
16 plus teaspoons of sugar in it. So it actually hasn't got any fruit in it.
Nope.
It's just the picture that's got the fruit, and it's just got coloured sugar in there. So that's a real scary one. And then I've got a little box of Just Juice, one of those little cartons, and it's even got 5 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow, and that's just a little tiny box.
One. Yeah. And then I've got a Powerade here, and this has got 12 teaspoons of sugar in it. So this really is just for our athletes like Sonny Bill and the All Blacks and the and the netballers. It's not for us running around.
Not for our children either.
No. And finally, I've got a Primo, which a lot of people just grab or up and go for breakfast.
How much sugar?
It's even got 4 teaspoons of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Alex, I've got a couple of extras here. Yeah. That flavoured water, the pump flavoured water, has 4 teaspoons of sugar in it.
So and very deceiving.
The giant cookie that kids love, it's
how
got 6 teaspoons of
wow.
sugar in it.
Amazing.
And finally, we're all into this iced tea now, and it's got 7 teaspoons of sugar in it. And you wouldn't put 7 teaspoons in your cup of tea.
Nope.
But they're putting it into our iced tea.
Yeah. So lots and lots of sugar, lots of energy in there, no nutrients.
So Alex, here we're saying we've got all these drinks that we love and families love.
Yeah.
What could we swap to?
Okay.
Have you got some swaps for?
I do. Yes. I do recommend now. You know, in terms of a short-term option, we have our, no sugar options of, say, for example, with Coke, we've got Coke Zero, no sugar. Now, they do have artificial sweeteners in them. Now, they are obviously not the best option.
Because they still damage the teeth.
They do. They still damage the teeth. However, if you are trying to cut down on fizzies and sugary drinks, that's your next best option because there are no calories in it. And again, we mentioned before, sugar leads to obesity, diabetes, so that can be another option. Another good option is soda water. It has no sugar in it. It does give you that fizzy fix if you do like that.
That's what I drink. I love it. Yeah, I've got a soda
and add
stream.
a little bit of lemon in there just to give a bit of a kick, or some fruit just to add that flavor. But again, there are options. And then again, water is best.
Water is best. Forget the rest.
Water is best. Forget the rest.
If you can get to that.
Yeah. So again, cutting down in terms of choosing the low sugar or no sugar options, and then eventually getting into more water as you can. Yeah.
Good tips, Alex. So just to sum up, we're coming to the end of our session. So why should we worry again? What's the problem with sugars?
It's a leading cause of diabetes, health, no nutrients whatsoever. Again, tooth decay.
Yes.
And again, a big problem is obesity. It's one of the leading causes. So the more sugar we can cut down, the better.
And our recommendations for the whole day, as we said, for kids was 3 teaspoons. Ladies, 6. And this is for food and drinks. And men, it's 9. And just remember to have a look on that little box on your drink or on your cookie, and look how much sugar is in one serve. and then multiply it by how many serves are in that packet up the top,
Yep.
then divide by 5 to
get
work out your teaspoons.
Yes, yeah.
And finally, our best swap at the end of the day
Water.
is water.
Yes, water is best. And guess what? Water is free. So yes, definitely water is best if we can cut it.
Thank
cut
you
those fizzy
very
lines.
much, Alex, once
That's
again
all right.
for coming in with Palangi Sue.
Thank you for having me.
And for sharing those tips and information with our listeners and viewers today.
Yeah, no,
And
that's good.
don't forget to stay on the line. Namai is going to open up the line, and whoever, she's got her tricky question. So if you've listened to the session and you can answer the question, you could win a $50
$50.
Pack and Save voucher. So we look forward to having a session again next week.
Great.
And then we'll see you then. It's bye from Palangi Sue and from Alex at Pacific
Bye.
Heartbeat. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
See ya.
Yeah, thank you.
Pacifica Health Talanoa, proudly brought to you by Pacific Heartbeat at the Heart Foundation.
Bringing Pacific people together. 531 PI.